Hey YouTube, RicoKnows here. So the question on Twitter was, name a player coming off of injury that will have a big 2024 season. I want to tell you guys, this is, very simple. You go out and you pick all the quarterbacks that got injured, and maybe they're going to play better. They're going to come back and play great. But for me, I gave a top 10 list, and I want to give an apology right now to any of the at-large bids. There's guys, there's tight ends out there that people believe in. I have a different thought process, that being, if you believe in the tight end, well, then you probably believe in the quarterback, especially if he's coming off of injury. A little more impactful, if you will. There's also like Oronde Gadsden at Syracuse. There's who did I miss? There's a number of Utah players for sure. But when you make a top 10, you make a top 10. I'm going to tell you how deep I can go on this. I could have went Pat Garwu, who just transferred out of Boston College in Nevada. I believe in him. But my top 10 is pretty simple, man. Riley Leonard being the starting quarterback at Notre Dame this year, chances are he's going to be pretty damn good. And, he has all the right weapons. And he himself, excuse me as I adjust my camera, he himself is pretty damn amazing. If you watch any tape on Riley Leonard, he's athletic. He's a former basketball player. He's a great quarterback. He reminds you of an NFL prospect for sure. So I'm expecting Riley Leonard to play better. Play good. Didn't play all that great last year. A little disappointing for Duke because they had an amazing defense. But I believe in Riley Leonard at Notre Dame. I think he has all the right parts. I hope he's healthy because I think he just had another surgery. Number 2 is Cam Rising. A lot of people in those comments were not listing Cam Rising, and that's crazy. Cam Rising is him. Like, as the kids would say, he is him. You don't win 2 Pac-12 titles with a bunch of 3-stars at Utah the way Cam Rising did. By being substandard. Cam Rising beat a Heisman Trophy winner. Cam Rising won a conference that's extremely competitive with amazing players, and he outplayed them all. So I like Cam Rising a lot at Utah, especially in the Big 12 this year. Number 3, Jalon Daniels. Speaking of the Big 12, Jalon Daniels, his team managed to stay relevant without him. They have some phenomenal players. They have a really good secondary. They have great running back. They have some good players. I love their receiving corps. So when I look at the receiving corps at Kansas, it's better than Notre Dame and Utah's. The only reason Jalon Daniels is at 3 is because I don't know if he can complete an entire season without getting injured. And this time around, you don't have a dude named Bean backing you up and keeping the season going, right? So it'll be a huge drop-off if Jalon Daniels is not healthy. It'll be bad. So I'm hoping he gets it done, but he is a very good player. I'm telling you right now, if Kansas has a healthy Jalon Daniels, they're winning the Big 12. That's it. That's how I feel about him. Connor Weigman, the quarterback at Texas A&M. Everybody's convinced he's good. I'm going to tell you, when I watch tape on Connor Weigman, I don't know if he's that good. I really don't. You can go back and look. I want to say his stats were 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions 2 years ago in 2022, but it's 5 touchdowns on New Mexico. Go turn on the tape. He's beaten the hell out of a team in New Mexico who did not win a conference game. Okay, they went 0 for 9 in the Mountain West. It was gross. And then his other numbers were against scrub teams. I'm trying to remember who else it was. It was New Mexico and maybe not Sam Houston. It was bad. It was New Mexico and somebody who was just having an all-time bad year, if I remember correctly. Oh, Auburn. Auburn was having a bad year. So he just beat up on some scrubs. I wasn't impressed. And Connor Weigman, hopefully he's healthy and he has the right weapons. A&M does have players, so I put him at 4. There's Louisville. Tyler Shough. I've never really believed in Tyler Shough. Former Oregon kid, Oregon quarterback, if you will. Former Texas Tech quarterback. Just too injury prone. He's a chandelier, and I hope he stays healthy, but we'll see. At 6, I finally get 2 other positions besides quarterback because I think the most impact there is starting quarterback. And we got Raheim Rocket Sanders. Got injured last year. Didn't work out at Arkansas. Now you're at South Carolina. They have a number of running backs they can lean upon, at least 3, right? They got Jawarin Howell. I'm bad with names. Jawarin Howell, South Carolina State running back from the HBCU. They got Oscar Attaway III from North Texas. Sorry, I'm just going off the top of my head here, but I don't forget that kind of stuff. So I just believe in Raheim Rocket Sanders. Yes, South Carolina has struggled to run the ball as of late. Mainly the offensive line is the issue. I'm hoping Shane Beamer figures that out. Lenora Sellers being the starting quarterback. Mr. Goggles, if you don't know who he is, you're going to know soon enough. He's a baller. I believe he's Vince Young in the making, and we'll see what happens with him. So I'm excited for Raheim Sanders in that backfield. Bru McCoy. He's a possession wide receiver whether you believe it or not, at Tennessee, got injured. All these guys were extremely injured last year or didn't play at all in some cases. And Bru McCoy is one of those guys coming out of high school, anointed, identified as one of the very best. Bryce Young was his quarterback at Mater Dei, and you believed in Bru McCoy. You thought he was great. And then he goes and he ends up going to Texas, going back to USC, going to, now he's at Tennessee. They need him to be great. I hope he is. I hope he's healthy. Tennessee's wide receiver room is pretty damn stacked if he's healthy. So I'm excited for Bru McCoy. Nick Lachey. Nick Lachey, 98 degrees. What up, Jessica? No, Luke Lachey, tight end at Iowa. And I could have put Eric All as well, but both of them went down with injuries and they weren't available. Now Luke Lachey's back. Everybody's kind of hyped on him. I hope he plays well. I actually put him ahead of Cade McNamara because I don't like Cade McNamara. I don't think he's a good quarterback. Haven't seen him finish a single season in the last 2 years now. Very injury prone. And I think, what's the kid's name from Northwestern that just transferred in? Oh, my goodness. That's terrible that I can't remember his name. Brian, maybe? Seth? Bro, don't quote me, man. Brendan Sullivan. Woo! Hey, dude, I pulled that shit out of darkness, bro. I pulled that out of my RAM, my volatile memory. So Sullivan is going to come in. I believe he might start at some point because of how fragile McNamara is. And then I have Brett Gabbert. You guys probably don't know Brett Gabbert. Transfer, got to Miami of Ohio. And when I watch tape on Brett Gabbert, I see an NFL arm. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be an NFL quarterback. Obviously, injury prone in the group of 5. These are recipes for disaster when you're trying to make it in the NFL. But there are throws he makes that are Sunday throws. There are throws he makes, 15-yard outs, over a corner in the flats. Just layered throws over the second level of the defense, which is linebackers, and before the third level, which is your secondary, your defensive backs. It's so beautiful sometimes. So I love Brett Gabbert's potential, and I want to see him play great. But obviously there are a lot of guys who missed the season last year, were injured. You probably have others you want to put in the comments, but these are my top 10. I just wanted to share them with you guys. I hope you learn a little bit about them. Get excited because they're going to put their teams on the map, or they're going to get injured again and solidify their label as injury prone. Right? I remember growing up, the first guy I ever remember being injury prone was Chris Chandler, the Chandelier. Chris Chandler, Falcons quarterback. They just kept saying he was a Chandelier. Chris Chandelier, if you will. Nonetheless, I hope all these guys play healthy or get healthy. I wish them well. Your friends don't know, but Rico knows. Sorry for brain dumping on some of these names. It's all up there somewhere. Peace.